Hi chat. Welcome in everyone. Welcome back. Hello. I am Chef Jay Tay. Happy to see all of you back. Hello Will Poker. Welcome in JK4T. Hopefully you're all having a good hump day. Good start to your week. If not, we're halfway. So, you know, the worst is hopefully over. Not in love with the bot sending everyone the ads first thing. And also, like, I hate how it does things like that. Like, it just insists it needs to do things, and you have to fight it over and over, or reset it over and over. Anyways, you know, the LM obviously knows more than you, right? So yeah, welcome in it. Well, we're still not there. We're still waiting on people on ads. But we're working with cheddar cheese tonight. I've got 3 bricks of cheese for tonight. I've got 3 dishes. We're going to be doing a main dish of crab and cheesy mac or cheesy pasta. I'm not doing macaroni, which is the issue with me calling it cheesy mac. I want to call it cheesy mac. Anyways, we're going to do that with the baked top and put some crab on top of it and top it with cheese and give it a quick bake. Then we're going to serve that with a salad. And salad's not going to be beforehand, it's like a side salad. We're going to be doing a slaw-like salad using Brussels sprouts, apples, dried cherries, shallots, and apple. Did I say apple already? Anyways. And then dessert is going to be just a couple cheddar cheese profiteroles that I will be stuffing with a combination of apple, white chocolate, and apple butter. So there'll be like cheddary apple butter bites, maybe with a few pieces of solid, small pieces of apple, and hopefully I've got some small. I think Guitar does some pretty large white chocolate chips. I'm gonna have to chop those up. But that is the plans for this evening. Welcome in, Mustang. Captions. Hi, Splits. Grits were a consideration tonight. I was thinking of doing cheddar cheese grits with, like, pork, because I still haven't gotten through pork. We have pork to eat. But, no. Rinse out our filter here to start. Let's see even what the dinner command is saying tonight. You know it's the cheddar cheese dinner. Can't you be more creative? Frustrated with the bot because I have not told the bot it is cheddar cheese ingredient challenge night, but it did correctly read the Discord and find that out and title the stream that, and then completely spaced on it for the summary. Hi, Nan Reader. Got ahead of myself, and now we don't hit the scale saying hello to everyone tonight. Ooh, a patty melt might have been nice for cheddar night. Not for the pocketbook with the price of beef these days, but sounds good. Tuna melts aren't horrible. They're not my first choice. But I could see myself craving one in a deli diner type mood. I think they closed. There used to be a deli, sit-down deli in Santa Rosa, a small little one that did great melts like that. Like a decade ago. Actually, I think all of the diner-like places in Santa Rosa are gone now. I don't know if the breakfast place is still there down South End, but the other diner that's over by college, I think, is something completely different now. The one I was talking about was right downtown. The one earlier. Have I done a tuna melt on stream? I have to have. Pretty sure I've had tuna as an ingredient challenge in the past. Well, unfortunately, I described it just before you got here, Splits. We're doing 3 dishes tonight. The first main dinner dish is going to be cheesy pasta with crab. Make a sort of typical mac and cheese, but not with macaroni. And then top that with crab and more cheese and bake it just to get the cheese melty and the crab warmed up. Second dish is going to be a salad to go along with that. A little bit of greenage to help fill out, a little acidity. It's going to have an apple cider dressing with apple cider vinegar dressing with apples, shaved Brussels sprouts, shallots, cherries, peanuts. I didn't mention peanuts earlier, but we're putting peanuts in there for crunch. And is that it that's in there? The dressing I'm going to be doing is going to be an apple cider, basically vinaigrette. We're going to do a little Dijon in there, a little apple cider vinegar, a little honey, something along that line. Hi, Soph. So I appreciate all of you joining in with me tonight. Cheers. What's going on here, shirt? Just doesn't want to cooperate. All right, so where do we start with? I actually think we're gonna start with the salad. And then the final thing we're going to be doing, the third dish, is going to be cheese profiteroles. I've only got one egg, so we're only doing like 2 or 3 of them. I'm going to stuff those once they're baked with a little bit of apple, a little bit of apple butter. I've got a jar of apple butter here to use, and a little bit of white chocolate. But yeah, I think we're going to actually... dessert we actually want to do towards the very end, which is unusual. Oh! Soph, Power Watcher. Yeah, yeah. We're going to start with these. I'm going to take the bottom / outer row side, one from each side here off. Actually, we'll take that one off. We'll live with that. You wanted cheesy grits. That one's got some friends in it. Let's see if our friends are still here. Yep, we're just ditching you because you're in the outer layers. Those are not the type of friends that I want to join me for dinner. Yep, you're done for too. clean cuts on the bottoms of all of them after we've cleaned the leaves off of them. Cheddar soup's good too. As would be, say, baked potato soup. You can add bacon in there and chives and other deliciousness. Oh no, how many infected ones do we have? Yep, you're done for too. Even you've got critters in you. Not happy with this, chap. Yeah. Stuff just crawling through these. This is being sort of a bummer. Am I gonna get a couple of these without anything in them? That one looks sort of clean. That's two. And then we'll switch to a knife that I can slice with nicely. Let's use the other one. Yeah. It's my guess that they're leftovers from the big turkey day here. So, they've probably, even though they didn't look picked over, they were probably picked over. I mean, I picked them over. And still got these. Yeah, the bot's doing a bad job with dinner command tonight. We're doing 3 cheese dishes and we're starting with salad. Even though the salad's a side dish and not a starter. It's more like a slaw. our 3 dishes tonight. The first one, main dish, going to be a crab and cheesy pasta dish. Going to make essentially mac and cheese, but without the macaroni, and use some other pre-made pasta. Cover that with pre-picked crab and more cheddar. We'll bake that off to warm up the crab and melt the cheddar. This is going to be a salad. We're going to do Brussels sprouts, green apple, dried cherries, shallot with a dressing, cheddar cheese, and peanuts. And then dessert is going to be cheddar profiteroles filled with apple butter, white chocolate, and a little bit of apple. Actually, so if I made a pickle pizza since you've been watching? Because I've made a couple of pickle pizzas on stream before. I've made a cheeseburger pizza that I think I put pickles on too, but hit this with a little lemon juice just to make sure that they don't discolor. That's going to be the lemon juice that I was going to put into the dressing. So just think of it as pre-dressing. Researching this, I did find, like, I knew cheddar cheese and pie was a thing, and apple pie was a thing. Like, we've discussed it here before. I did not know that it was like an official state thing. I forget which state it is offhand. It's one of the northeastern states. Learning this. There's two shallots in there, but it's mostly one shallot. Like, the other one's just a little side one. A little side one might be perfect for what I'm doing tonight, though. But yeah. This I'm just separating it off of the large one, trying to get to the point where I can pull this side lobe off. I think I need to go another deeper. There we go. It's actually got 3 shallots in there, but actually that's one solid one that's trying to split into 2. So that we're gonna save. And this we're all gonna shred up, other than the tip of this one. It's got a little too dry. Tip of that one's a little too dry too. Hi, Blink. This is actually approaching enough shallot here without any of those. I'm also thinking I might go through the shallot once more and make them considerably smaller. I think we're just going to use the scrap outer stuff and save all the nice clothes for future projects. You can throw one in with the pasta. We'll add in dried cherries. Let's chop these up. These are a little large. Dried cherries, even these aren't as oily as some. Some of them are splashed with oil to make them not stick as much. Tossed with oil. But these are pretty dry, so I was trying to stick them together as best I could. Peanuts. Dried cherries are a little more seasonal, a little bit harder to find. Warehouse stores are usually pretty good at keeping them. However, mine doesn't have them right now. I got these more from I have a grocery / fruit stand type place. There's several of them here in the county, and they do all sorts of lovely dried fruits. I was really tempted. They do dried cantaloupe, which I really like. Most people I've handed it to are sort of like, eh, but I like it. I was really tempted to pick up some. But yeah, an good alternative to that would be cranberries. I'm just not huge on. They're too tart. Though for this salad, we want tart. We want that acidic, tart, fresh combo that's going to cut through both the cheese that we're putting in it and the pasta. Way to go, Scramble. You're batting 100 tonight, bot. Alright, good with that, good with that. This is not going to be emulsified dressing that I'm making for this. I'm just saying that ahead of time. It's something that could be emulsified dressing if you're making a larger batch of it than I am. But, yeah. Little apple cider vinegar in the glass there. Bit of our mustard. What do we want to throw in here? I guess we can do a splash more of this. And then we'll use the good olive oil with this. Like, I don't even think there's enough here to do like a shake vinaigrette. If I wanted to get a mason jar dirty for this project. And then honey. We'll give that a mix up together. Add some MSG, some salt, some onion powder. Oh no, we got the shallot in there. We don't need onion powder. Okay, chunk free there. So we'll skip the onion and garlic. Touch of cayenne. Salt, pepper, MSG. Well, tonight is my ingredient challenge night. Welcome in, Blinkrinch. Happy to have you here. Chat votes in my Discord, or rather my Discord viewers. Vote on an ingredient every week. We have a new vote up right now, actually. Let me pull up the Discord. Do I have it open here yet? Nope. Let me open the Discord here real quick and show you the one we got going for next Wednesday, which I just put up there this morning, I think. That was this morning, right, chat? So we have a new vote up there for next week, the 10th of December. We got kimchi versus cranberries. Speaking of putting cranberries in things. Cheese, that's what I was forgetting I needed to throw in there. Yeah, sharp for this. I still don't have a grading thingy anymore. Box grater. So y'all get to see me hand cut most of my cheese tonight. And get the cherries off the blade before we cut the cheese with it. For those that haven't had dried cherries before, going back to that, should point out to people that they're also typically tart and sweet cherries that you can find, or Bing or specific varieties. I'm not going to be cutting all of it like this. I didn't look what these ones have. They had some sort of light neutral oil on them. Most of them do. Just to keep them from like sticking together. But like I said, I tried to stick mine together regardless. And they were sort of lightly oiled. I've had some that were like glossy from oil. I think that's a good amount of cheese for our salad. I typically use sunflower oil for sauteing and cooking. It's a relatively low price point for an organic oil. I tend to use organic oils. Sunflower oil also, if you think about the footprint of the sunflower plant, it is actually the plant with the smallest flat footprint to produce oil. Hey Sniper, welcome back. We're working on our first cheese dish in the night. We're making a salad with cheddar, green apple, shaved Brussels sprouts, peanuts, shallot, and this apple cider vinegar-ish vinaigrette. I'm going to add a bit of salt on top of that. All right, there we go. There's our salad with our main dish tonight, with our cheesy crab. And that was with the sharp cheddar. Doing sharp cheddar with the salad, medium cheddar with the dessert, and white cheddar. Well, white sharp cheddar, because just about all cheddar that I saw that was white was extra sharp, is going with the crab. Let's clean up the counter here. Let's get those shallots away. I'll throw this with the pasta. Thank you for the follow. So we're going to start in on our sauce now. Didn't realize this pan wasn't clean. I think we're going to do it in cast iron here tonight. This is going to be our saucepan on the other side here. Just waiting for that to dry out a little bit. We'll get our bechamel started and starting to cook through, and then we'll start the pasta. We'll finish the bechamel while the pasta is cooking, and then we can, or mornay, mix them together, and then have them ready to go with the crab, top, and go, and that way we can work on the dessert. The salad, I think, will be fine to keep chilling here. Half and half going in with our roux. Along with some water. More water. Well, let's add a whisk in here since this is looking a little lumpy. So there we have basic bechamel. Salt. Pepper. And yeah, MSG. And then because we need to cook this for a while to reduce out that flour flavor to this, I am now going to overwater this a bit with the intentions of cooking most of this water that I'm adding in here now back out while we're doing the pasta. And just low enough that it'll bubble just barely at a boil or just barely under a boil, right around that point. What am I missing with chat? Scramble's got chat stumped. Pasta, what are we doing for pasta? Let's get the flour out of the way. Then we'll talk pasta. What type of pasta are we making? I've got 3 types in the house right now. I think I know which one I want to use, but I'll let chat choose. Actually, I don't know which one I want to use. Do we want to go with gemelli or cesarelli? Cesarese? Or gemelli? Twists or slightly less twisted? This one? This is the right hand. The less twisty it is. Gonna toss the shallots in with the bechamel. I could have cooked them beforehand and get that flavor into it, but that would have darkened the bechamel down. So we're just gonna go light with it. It's going with the crab anyways, so we don't want things super heavy for this. It is going to turn the sauce slightly pink. Especially as it cooks, not necessarily right off. That's because the shallots have got that red color and purple color to them. This is the one I was going to go for. I forgot I had the twists, and I was like, the twists would be fine. Another close-up of the pasta choice of the evening. new people in chat are like, what's he doing? That's dry pasta. Where's the 5 gallons of water? Let's make sure we got cold water. Yeah, let's make sure we got cold water. Touch more. Salt. And heat. And I'm going to go ahead and add a lid to this. Now this one, I don't know how I want to do the cheese. Hey, Zeeks. There you go, redeeming yourself, Soph. How are we doing tonight, X? We're working with cheddar tonight, for anyone just joining in. We're working on our main dish right now. We've got 3 dishes to do tonight. Our main is going to be a pasta and white cheddar with crab baked dish. And then we've got our salad already made up here, a sort of slaw with Brussels sprouts, green apple, cherries, peanuts, shallot, and a Dijon / apple vinaigrette. I guess we're going with the same method as last time. So we got our salad, we got our main dish. I didn't describe our dessert. The dessert is going to be a cheddar profiterole with a filling of apple butter, and white chocolate. Have this ready for our sauce when we're ready to add it to our sauce, but we got to wait on our pasta a bit. What we have here so far is just a seasoned bechamel with shallot. Not a traditional bechamel, but in the ballpark. Like, traditional bechamel is going to be like, either whole milk or cream, and I use half and half. So right off the bat, it's not going to be... I'm sort of caught in a catch-22 of I'm really more interested in just making delicious, fun food and not caring so much about, this specific name from this specific region and this specific place. At the same time, I'm trying to be at least somewhat informative, educational-ish. And I don't want to be like, well, none of that matters. Even though in my mind I'm like, well, none of that matters. I still gotta be like, well, yeah, this is based on French technique with... We had a full boil here yet. Just about there. Give that maybe another minute, and then we'll turn the heat off in the pasta and let that coast. We're doing some of this over the top. I guess we can get started with the rest of the, well, do we want to start? We can start heating up the oven for dessert. I don't know about that scramble. I'm gonna have to look that scramble up. That scramble is disturbing me. Let's see, global variables. Oh, I know what that is. Okay. My hint to the scramble. Spanglish. Okay, we're definitely boiling here, so turn the heat off. Let that sit. Oh, I should just probably build this in a pan to begin with. So I'm starting the beginnings of our profiterole. Profiterole. Don't know which it's going to be. Water. Butter. Sugar. Salt. Drying out the water from the cup because I need to use it for flour now. Dal. It is very commonly used in Indian cuisine. Very common item but it's essentially a lentil. Get to bed, kiddo, so Soph can watch. No, we're on. Okay. I glanced at OBS when I was turning around, and it gave me the impression for some reason that this scene here was the entire camera view. Like the stove wasn't still showing, or the cutting board wasn't showing when I was facing this direction. But it wasn't. I was just seeing things as normal. We needed more water over here. evaporated milk. Giving it the paint can shake. It says shake well on the top of the can. Now you may think that cheese sauce there is actually going to remain like a sauce around that pasta. No, that's gonna solidify like it's not gonna turn solid, but it's not gonna be a sauce for very long next to that pasta. And that's why I'm using the evaporated milk. It both helps with consistency, but it also helps with the dish too. And so that's what we're finishing with everything with, rather than water. We're finishing with evaporated milk. We're giving the pasta a good 10 minutes or so there. And set this over here and at least start melting the butter. Flame's not on, but the oven's on, so the exhaust will hit it and warm it up a bit. I need to try this salad. That's delicious. Happy with that. Maybe a little worried that the peanut's a little overpowering. I used peanuts because I had them around. I would think maybe walnuts or pecans maybe more the go-to for that, but I have peanuts, so we use peanuts. Ooh. Think caramel. No, don't give up. Nice, Musty. Started waiting on the oven to come to temp for our profiterole before we finish our dinner dish. Or finish the pasta. Or, we're not really finishing the pasta at this point either. We're really just sort of mixing the pasta so we can finish it when we want. I'm glad I didn't add any garlic or onion, really, to the dressing. There's enough in that salad just with the shallot. Sloppy Joe's fried food. Slideshow just makes me hungry. Alright, so we're up to temp. So I think we are approaching pasta mixing time here. Okay, that's still too thick after cooking for a bit. So we're going to add a bit of that evaporated milk over here. And our cheese that's going into the sauce. We'll whisk that all in. Get our fan going here. I should have had the fan going earlier. I lost track of time here, and I'm worried that I didn't give this pasta enough time to sit. We're supposed to let it sit for 10 minutes after getting ourselves a solid boil. I guess we're there. Turn the heat on. Dump the rest of our can in here. Add in our cheese sauce. Cheese sauce is always a pain to get out of the pan, so we're going to give this a quick scrub out right away. And we're going to dry it out while you all go to an ad. Alright, so we're going to let that hang out and just be happy. Turn the heat off on that. That has all heated up. Nice and steamy. And we're going to move on to profiteroles after this dries off. Oh, don't fall over. Leaning tower of utensils. Bot, what are you trying to write in YouTube? Ugh. It looks like it did an alright job with the hourly summary in our chat, in Twitch chat. In YouTube, it tried to write a web page. Like, it's an HTML. I don't know why it's doing an HTML blob for... Yeah. Couple of my pans been running a little thin lately. This is one of them, and so I've been trying to keep them nicely coated with oil all the time. Right now. This one too, but that one's full of fat right now, so I'm not worried about that one. You can see from the top there that's already starting to get a bit thicker and solidify. Alright, moving this lovely concoction back lower on the stove. Oh, you can't see the whole stove right now. Let's go over to the whole stove. Actually, let's focus on the left-hand side now. Alright, we're going to turn the heat on here with our butter, but we're going to keep it low just until we get the butter melted in there. We're going to grab a second whisk. And get the sugar, salt, water, and butter that we have here all nicely melted together before we get too hot. Though our next step is bringing this to a boil. I just want the butter mostly melted before we get there. Alright, now let's kick the heat up now that this is mostly melted. And the rest of it I'm not worried about anymore. We're going to take our flour, we're going to turn this into a dough. We do want this cooking. I guess I didn't have to worry so much about the butter melting because it's taking ages to get to a boil. Alright, solid boil. Adding our flour in. One big clump. Gonna thicken up real quick. Alright, so I'm happy with this. We now need to let this cool. While this lovely concoction here cools, we'll finish up our pasta. We'll give this pasta another stir here. Crab meat. Large chunk crab meat. We're going to be throwing this over the top of our pasta. I am using my hand here. They're notorious for shells, regardless if it was carefully picked or done by pros, and so I'm still sort of feeling these to see if I feel any sharp pieces. Alright, so we got our crab on top now. And we'll do our second cheddar topping here. And then we'll add a little of use the shakeable parm as almost our breadcrumbs on top there. So that's now ready to go when our profiteroles are ready to go. So it's still too hot for the, maybe a little warm for that. We're gonna give this another whip up. Need to wait on this to cool down to be cool enough that we can add an egg in there without scrambling the egg, which means we need this well under 100. I suspect it's over 100 right now. Yeah, 140. So we're going to give that another couple of minutes to cool down. And steal another bite of this salad. Yeah, it's a little quiet tonight, Sniper. I think it's maybe people don't think cheddar is much of a challenge, or maybe they don't think I'm doing a serious challenge with cheddar. I don't know. That salad is pretty damn good. Again, peanut, it's a pretty strong flavor in there. Looking for a watch to buy? Any recommendations? No. No real clue. I'm maybe in the market for one myself come birthday time. My Samsung watch here, I think this is the second one. Like this is getting up there in age. I am sort of interested in the newer ones. I like they're getting a lot better with the health tracking stuff. But as far as what you're looking for in a watch, whether you're looking for something fashion-wise, whether you're looking for just a reliable watch, whether you're thinking something that's going to last in the kitchen, I don't really have a good answer for any of those other than make sure you have a metal band if you're in the kitchen. Apple and Google are really sort of fighting for being the top tech there. I think Google is edging them out with better health stuff right now. But they're competing. Hey, Mimic. Mimic. I stumble on that one every time you come in here. Mimic. Miminit. Hey, Jana. We've got our baked pasta dish basically ready to go there. What you're looking at there on the big screen is a white cheddar, or an extra sharp Tillamook extra white sharp cheddar pasta. It's not macaroni, so I can't call it mac and cheese, but pasta and cheese topped with a large lump, large lump crab, more Tillamook extra sharp white cheddar on top. That's the cheddar you see on top there. And then shaked on top with shakeable green can parm as sort of like our breadcrumbs. But we're waiting on throwing that into the oven just to finish it, to maybe warm up the pasta a little bit, to definitely warm up the crab, to melt that cheese on top. For the profiteroles. I guess we can do the cheese for the profiteroles while we're waiting on that. Doing profiteroles for our dessert tonight. I'm going to be doing cheddar profiteroles and then stuffing them with apple butter, white chocolate, and maybe some small pieces of apple as well. The cheddar's all going to be in the profiterole or baking on top of it. Horse sandwich. Most of the cheese is going on the outside of this, but I wanted to mix a little of it in. See how our temp's doing, if we're down low enough that we can add our egg in there now. Wow, we're still over 100. I'm gonna give it another moment. I'm going to do about a 5-minute AFK here. We're going to let this cool down. I don't know, 5 minutes may be excessive, but a couple minute AFK here. And grab some aspirin. Oh, I guess we could have added this too. This would have added more umami in with this whole party, but I guess not. Alright, folks, I will see you back here in a couple of minutes.
There's no other box of facial tissues like this. Scotty's new Magic Oval box. Only Scotty's give you tissues that float up gently, one at a time, and come out in neat handfuls, too, because there's a Magic Oval inside every new Scotty's box. Only Scotty's Magic Oval can give you tissues that float up, smooth and easy. No tugging, no tearing, no extra tissues tagging along. And Scotty's Magic Oval does even more. It lets you reach in for tissues by the handful, all neatly folded, just right for pocket or purse. Scotty's new Magic Oval box is pretty, too. And inside, soft, strong, sneeze-proof Scotty's. Remember, for tissues that float up smoothly and come out in neatly folded handfuls, look for Scotty's pretty new Magic Oval box, the only one of its kind.
Off into space. Man, that takes real teamwork. And here's a team of junior spacemen with an out-of-this-world breakfast that teams up V8 juice and Cheerios for flavor and energy. What a treat! A flavorful glassful of refreshing V8 juice and Cheerios with power protein, plus vitamin B1 for Go Power. And now, here's a special out-of-this-world free offer. This Moon Rocket Kit, both a toy and an exciting game. First, blast off. It separates in midair and lands 2 spacemen on a moon map. You get this wonderful game only through this free offer. Send your name and address and 1 V8 label plus 1 box top from these specially marked packages of Cheerios, Kix, or Frostios to Moon Rocket Kit, Mount Vernon 10, New York. Get Campbell's V8 cocktail vegetable juice with any one of these Big G cereals.
What are you doing here? You ought to be outside with the rest of the kids.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Edgar?
Well, now, if you're referring to the aroma of roast turkey, I concur.
No, Ray, I was talking about the kitchen. It looks like a real center of hospitality.
Did you say hospitality?
Uh-huh.
That's one thing we're always prepared for around here. Help yourself.
Wouldn't this be a good time for you and your guests to have Coca-Cola, too?
Yes, and Coca-Cola is so delicious, so refreshing, so tempting to any guest when you bring out those familiar bottles with tiny beads of moisture running down their frosty sides, assuring you that the Coke inside is really ice cold. And the good, the gracious, the friendly homes of America are always prepared for hospitality, not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day, all the year around, no matter who comes to call or who happens to drop in. And one of the easiest, simplest, and surest ways in the world to be prepared for hospitality is to have plenty of Coca-Cola in your refrigerator, ice cold and ready to serve all the time. It's a wonderful way to say to folks, so glad you came. Welcome anytime.
Something different for a change? Then try the perfect refreshment, Chili Dilly, a delicious pickle treat that's spiced just right for every bite. Economical, too. There's no waste. You eat every bit of the juicy goodness of Chili Dilly. How about trying one right now? Chili Dilly, on sale at our concession stand. You'll love 'em.
Next week, George and Gracie will be brought to you by Carnation.
Hiya, happy boy. Wish you'd been with me today. We saw a great dog show, some beautiful dogs. There was the handsomest poodle, a real beauty, an international champion. His owner gave me some good advice.
There are many dog foods on the market, but the Carnation Company makes the best. It's called Friskies, and it's quality all the way through.
You should have seen the champion collie. He won everything in sight. The handler told me.
A very important part of this champion's diet is meat. That's why we feed him Friskies. The principal ingredient is lean red horse meat, the best you can buy.
So happy, you're getting real quality, and you're going to get your Friskies right now.
Friskies is prepared to the high standards of Carnation Company and guarantees prime-grade nourishment.
All right, I'm back. Music, where are you? Where are the... Okay. So we're going to continue on with our profiteroles now. Take our one egg in the house and make use of it. Actually, we're going to make sure that we're down to temp first. I'm making the assumption since we've been away for a couple minutes. Well, we're still pretty warm, but I think we're going to cool it down enough that we're going to be fine. Hold into this for me, chat. Cheese is in the way. Need to move the cheese. You look clean, you look dirty. And you don't have to be clean for this. It's just watermarks anyways. What kind you got now? Probably got me beat. All I got is a little handheld thingy. I do have a enclosed speed rack with a heating element at the bottom that I have been for ages planning to turn into a smoker, but have never gotten around to. Six turkeys sounds like a fun project. You got a whole year to plan. Wow, we still got one more in here. I was expecting to get like 3 out of this using just a single egg. So now I'm gonna wet finger smooth all of these over on the top a little bit. Just so you don't have a giant point sticking up or anything like that. We do want these to poof up quite a bit, so I don't expect them to keep their form exactly as is, but especially when it's like a piece of cheese that's just sort of sticking up out of the top. Mostly just disappearing that there was a tip to this. Like any of the ridges around the sides I'm sort of leaving. I'm just sort of smoothing over the very top of them. Nice. Alright, we ready to throw these in? I think we are. Into the oven, 20 to 25. Start a timer for 21 minutes. Ah, darn it. Darn it. It's too late. At least I put cheddar in them. I forgot to throw the cheddar over the top of them. So now this has got sharp and mild cheddar in it. For those joining in, didn't see me make this, I made this concoction towards the very beginning of stream. What you see here is Granny Smith apple, shredded or thin sliced Brussels sprouts, dried cherries, peanuts, sharp and mild Tillamook cheddar, and a Dijon / apple cider vinaigrette over the whole thing. Little lemon in there, salt, pepper, MSG, no real garlic, or there's shallot in there. I forgot to mention the shallot too. And the shallot is strong enough that you definitely don't need any onion or garlic powder in this. But it's delicious, with the potential caveat that you might want to switch up another nut for the peanuts because they're quite strong. We're good with that. We're hanging out for a bit. We gotta wait for our profiteroles to profiterize before we can fill them and before we can bake our pasta. So what's new? What's happening? Let's see what size these white chocolate chips are. Oh, cool. They're not huge. They'll work great. Great. Great success. Not much exciting with me today either. I mean, I got up and got out and woke up and got going early today. But, yeah. Other than when I walked into the grocery store, a guy with an equally long and falling out head of hair remarked that I needed to cut my hair as I was leaving, or as I was entering and they were leaving. He was being funny, but... Four-letter S word. Let's check out this apple butter. See what this stuff is like. I expect that to be more tart on the finish. Wow. It's not overly sweet either. That's nice. I'm sort of on some of these organic brands. I strongly suspect that some of the organic brands are almost out there to give organics a bad name. Lovely food politics. You know, big box chains. We don't really want the organic stuff, not because we don't want the profits, but because we don't want to spend all the money to have separate areas for organic and conventional. It's a floor space thing. And I think some of these big box stores have got their own organic label just to sort of like get people to not use organic because they just don't want to bother. Yeah, I keep hearing, like, that was top news the last couple of nights here is the weather is, it's snowing everywhere. It's not snowing in, like, Georgia or something, is it? It's not like apocalypse snow, is it? I think what I'm going to do, instead of trying to pipe or throw little pieces of white chocolate in these profiteroles, I think I'm going to melt some and mix it with some apple butter and pipe them together into dropping the temp of the oven down to 400. Sort of slow melting it. Don't want to cook it too hot. Don't want to scorch the chocolate in the microwave. Adding the butter to keep it from re-solidifying as it cools. It's going to need another 10 seconds and then we'll start mixing in the apple butter. And I add a touch of vanilla in here too. I don't know if that lid's gonna survive. The lid on that plastic bottle does not condone the feeling of this is gonna last 6 months of opening and closing. Really thin cap. Alright, so we got vanilla, we got white chocolate, and we got apple butter. And I can taste all of those in there, but I'm going to add a touch of salt even still. I think I put them all away. I need to rethink this setup here. Going into the let's reuse the smaller one. It just had some butter on it. And maybe egg. Maybe. Yeah, wow. Like, you couldn't tell from the color or looking at it much that there's white chocolate in there. There's most certainly white chocolate in there. Alright, gonna throw the pasta down in there. Look at our profiteroles. They're poofing. They're poofing. They're gonna need all of that time though. So they're now gonna do a full 25 minutes in the oven. We had about 3 minutes left on the timer at this point. I added another 4 on it. We got another 6 minutes here. I think I'm going to take another short AFK while we wait on the stuff in the oven. Our profiteroles to come out. I'll see all you folks in a couple minutes. I added more ads, by the way.
There's no other box of facial tissues like this. Scotty's new Magic Oval box. Only Scotty's give you tissues that float up gently, one at a time, and come out in neat handfuls, too, because there's a magic oval inside every new Scotty's box. Only Scotty's Magic Oval can give you tissues that float up, smooth and easy. No tugging, no tearing, no extra tissues tagging along. And Scotty's Magic Oval does even more. It lets you reach in for tissues by the handful, all neatly folded, just right for pocket or purse. Scotty's new Magic Oval box is pretty, too. And inside, soft, strong, sneeze-proof Scotty's. Remember, for tissues that float up smoothly and come out in neatly folded handfuls, look for Scotty's pretty new Magic Oval box, the only one of its kind.
Off into space. Man, that takes real teamwork. And here's a team of junior spacemen with an out-of-this-world breakfast that teams up V8 juice and Cheerios for flavor and energy. What a treat! A flavorful glassful of refreshing V8 juice and Cheerios with power protein, plus vitamin B1 for Go Power. And now, here's a special out-of-this-world free offer. This Moon Rocket Kit, both a toy and an exciting game. First, blast off. It separates in midair and lands 2 spacemen on a moon map. You get this wonderful game only through this free offer. Send your name and address and 1 V8 label plus 1 box top from these specially marked packages of Cheerios, Kix, or Frostios to Moon Rocket Kit, Mount Vernon 10, New York. Get Campbell's V8 cocktail vegetable juice with any one of these Big G cereals.
What are you doing here? You ought to be outside with the rest of the kids.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Edgar?
Well, now, if you're referring to the aroma of roast turkey, I concur.
No, Ray, I was talking about the kitchen. It looks like a real center of hospitality.
Did you say hospitality?
Uh-huh.
That's one thing we're always prepared for around here. Help yourself to it.
Wouldn't this be a good time for you and your guests to have Coca-Cola, too?
Yes, and Coca-Cola is so delicious, so refreshing, so tempting to any guest when you bring out those familiar bottles with tiny beads of moisture running down their frosty sides, assuring you that the Coke inside is really ice cold. And the good, the gracious, the friendly homes of America are always prepared for hospitality, not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day, all the year around, no matter who comes to call or who happens to drop in. And one of the easiest, simplest, and surest ways in the world to be prepared for hospitality is to have plenty of Coca-Cola in your refrigerator, ice cold and ready to serve all the time. It's a wonderful way to say to folks, so glad you came. Welcome anytime.
Something different for a change? Then try the perfect refreshment. Chili Dilly, a delicious pickle treat that's spiced just right for every bite. Economical, too. There's no waste. You eat every bit of the juicy goodness of Chili Dilly. How about trying one right now? Chili Dilly, on sale at our concession stand. You'll love 'em.
Next week, George and Gracie will be brought to you by Carnation.
Hiya, happy boy. Wish you'd been with me today. We saw a great dog show, some beautiful dogs. There was the handsomest poodle, a real beauty, an international champion. His owner gave me some good advice.
There are many dog foods on the market, but the Carnation Company makes the best. It's called Friskies, and it's quality all the way through.
You should have seen the champion collie. He won everything in sight. The handler told me.
A very important part of this champion's diet is meat. That's why we feed him Friskies. The principal ingredient is lean red horse meat, the best you can buy.
So happy, you're getting real quality, and you're going to get your Friskies right now.
Friskies is prepared to the high standards of Carnation Company and guarantees prime-grade nourishment.
I'm a guitar and I have strings. I like to play while someone sings. Hi, gang. Do you recognize this mouse guitar? It's just like the one the Mouseketeers gave me. And now Mattel Toy Makers, the people who made my mouse guitar, have a big surprise for you. You can have your very own mouse guitar just like mine. And look, I wrote out all the instructions so you can learn to play the songs we play on the show. Remember, gang, you can now get the mouse guitar wherever toys are sold for only $4. Hey, I almost forgot. Be sure to see the Mouseketeer Junior, too. Just turn the crank and it plays the Mouseketeer theme song. The Mouseketeer Junior is only $1.80. Be sure to look for this label, gang. You can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.
You are now looking at a slice of bread being spread with creamy-style Skippy peanut butter, as only Mary Ellen can spread it there. All right, now, as you look at that, don't want you to leave me because I want to show you something, believe it or not, that a lot of people like even better. Suppose we were to take some fresh roasted peanuts here, and like Mary Ellen has been doing all evening, and putting them in a nut chopper here. Give a couple more little chugs, will you, please? Mm-hmm. You think that'll do it? That's fine. Now you find in there some just tiny little golden nuggets of roasted peanuts, and they are colossal. Now, I want to try something here. Suppose we were to take these, now let me try an experiment, do you mind, honey? And we'd sprinkle them over the creamy-style Skippy. Say, how is that, huh?
Ooh, that looks good.
It does look good. All I did that for was to tell you that you can get that and enjoy it anytime you want. You won't have to go through any chopping process either, because the Skippy people do that for you in chunk style. That's done for you up in the factory. Now, chunk style, you see, has sprinkled all through it very generously through the entire jar those golden little nuggets that you saw there, just about like that. So that's already done for you there. Now, of course, either style, whether it's cream or chunky, if you get Skippy, you are getting the peanut butter that stays fresh right down to the last spoonful in the jar. And so I make it very simple again. I want you to know that this is an honest fact.
If you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy.
Welcome back, folks. We have profiteroles. They are out of the oven. Mostly hidden by the thing. Here, let's go over here. We have profiteroles. Profiteroles. They have slightly poofed, lightly browned. They're showing signs of cheese studded throughout them. We need to give those a moment to chill. The pasta is in the oven still. It has been put into the oven, rather, and we're melting cheese there. I want to give these a minute to cool down. I think they've come out quite beautiful. Give everyone a real close up here, what we ended up with. We've got our filling all set in the bag here. Just spike them in the bottom and shoot a little apple in there. Apple and white chocolate and butter and deliciousness. While we're waiting, why don't we put this apple salad in something? Ooh, I'm out of my orange bowls at the moment. And that one's chipped. Ooh, I was actually just thinking of this one earlier today. I never really used this for plating. This is like probably gonna have to wash it. Yeah, let's give that a quick rinse. This was a staple of my college days. Like, I don't know how much I've actually drank out of this in my life, but I have had some canned foods and some other delicious things in this. Ramen. I think it's 32 ounces. It might be 24, but I think it's 32 ounces. And put these over in the oven to cool for another minute. Give that another moment. The oven is off at this point. Though it was at 400, so I don't expect it to be exactly cool in there. Gonna remember photos tonight. I forgot photos the other night. So I think this is delicious. On the edge there. I think we're cool enough that we can move things around, but I don't know if I want to. That's also a consideration. How cool do we want them to put that filling in, because we don't want the filling just going soft and leaking back out. We don't want stuffing leakage. Give everyone a little bit more of a close-up here. Makes me wish I had some freeze-dried oregano for on top of those. We're going to move this temporarily over onto the stove. Well, actually, it's probably going to live on the stove until I figure out what I'm doing with it, with leftovers. And we're going to start filling. Maybe I'll only do one or two of them just to make sure. We'll see how they work out here. We'll give it a moment or two before we go in for a second one here. So, using tip to stick in there. I don't want to leave my hand on that to warm it up. That seems to be mostly staying. Let's see if we try turning that over onto a plate, if it makes a mess or not. Man, that feeling's good. A little over positive pressure there. Thank you for the follow. I wouldn't be licking my fingers if I were doing this for someone else other than myself. Oop, got breakage. This one's just taking it. We only got 2 more to fill, but I was going to say we're going to go until we run out of filling here, but we actually might be somewhat even here. Or on target. Ooh, this one may be one to break here. Yeah, we got, it's poofing up. We'll leave it there. That one broke too. I was trying to push it last little bit. Get it all in there. Let's try one of these broken ones. I'm certain this is going to be delicious already. But will I taste the cheddar? Cheddar and white chocolate. Apple more in texture than in flavor, but it's there. Yummy. Vanilla sort of disappeared, but that's pretty close flavor to white chocolate, so might be just masking it or working with it. Made me thirsty. But that was quite delicious. We'll get rid of the other broken one. See what we can do for making this look a little more even. So there we go, folks. So I think that's where we're going to leave things for tonight. We got some fun dinners coming up here. Friday we're going to be doing a spectacular dinner. We're going to be doing a Repeal Day themed dinner. I'm going to be doing a appetizer and a dinner. 2 drinks in the evening. We got Sunday coming up. I'm going to be doing lamb meatballs with flatbread. I'm going to be doing like flatbread sandwiches, but I'm going to be doing lamb meatballs, a cucumber salad, all that good stuff all to go together. I don't know if we'll do any tomatoes. It's not exactly tomato season, but tomatoes would go lovely with that. That is our plans for Sunday. Monday, I don't have anything in the plans yet for Monday. And I showed you all earlier the vote going on for Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're looking at either kimchi or cranberries next week, depending on what everyone votes on in the Discord. Hoot House Livestream gave us a raid not too long ago. It's a nice chill spot to let everyone hang out. So I am going to raid them tonight. I sincerely hope you all have a great finish to your weeks. Let me know what you think of tonight's dinner in the Discord. I'll have photos up there not too long from now. I'm gonna go eat and then I'll post photos. Like I said, I shall be back here on Friday night, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, 12:30 a.m. in England. I hope you all have a great evening.